Hello everyone, welcome to City Skylines Springwood City Unmodded Gameplay Episode 7. In the previous episode, we tried to increase our population by converting some of our low-density homes into high-density buildings. As you can see here, we have all these buildings lined up and we'll be making more to eventually achieve that goal of 11,000 people right over here. Along with that, we had some problems with our roundabouts. So we had a smaller roundabout right over here and a slightly bigger roundabout over here, and there were surely some issues. So we tried to fix those issues and tried to relay out this part of the map, and we have more problems now because of that, especially around this area. And along with that, we also have some problems in our main intersection that lets our sims get into the city, which is this one. So we probably need to find a way to connect the industrial layout directly to the highway. So we'll think about that probably in today's episode. But firstly, I think we have some issue with our garbage, and I think that traffic problem is certainly contributing to that. So if you look at this, for example, you'll be able to see the traffic view, and it seems like there is no city service vehicle coming up here. So I'm just going to disable all of this and see. So yeah, there is no garbage truck coming in, and that's a problem. The budget is not an issue. Is this an issue? Let's see. Oh yeah, we have our garbage processing status lowered. So again, we want to add a new garbage processing plant. So for now, I think I'm just going to put another recycling center over here, and that should be good enough. Anyway, a lot of talk here, but let's discuss what we want to do in terms of our expansion. So like we discussed in our previous episode, we have some oil fields in this area. We have some oil fields here as well. We have some forest over here. We have forest over here, but I don't think this is a good idea to expand into a forest industry just because it's a mountainous region and it might have its own problems in terms of traffic and the amount of zoning that we can do in that area. And we have some farmlands here and we have some ore over here. Oh, and one more thing that I want to show is we have an external train line over here. This will be important as we expand our industry further to make sure that we have a way for exporting and importing our goods, which really means that we want to have this style going forward in the future, which means I can either have this one or this one. Right now, I think this one is the most useful given the current situation that we want to have with our highway. So let's just go ahead and buy this piece of land, and let's just look at how our new piece of land looks like. So in terms of how we plan this, we'll definitely have our forest industry here, especially the forest production or extractor. And all these processing buildings can be placed somewhere else. We don't really have to stick to these green area. So we can probably use some of this land or some of that land if you want to. I do want to expand some of the homes in this area as well. So that will be definitely doing in this. But anyway, let's talk about what we can do in terms of the road. Oh, actually, before that, let's just quickly check how we are doing in terms of our garbage processing status. We are still not doing that good. So we'll probably have a lot more production than we can process. So we can probably add one more of these. I think this is good now. This is good. We probably need to add one more in the future just because we'll have... Oh, we have some power issues. What's going on? Let's see. Oh yeah, we have this issue. So we have future-proofed our city a little bit at this point. But yeah, with that, let's just move forward. So as you can obviously see here, we have this traffic backup happening, and that is definitely not good. So I had an idea in terms of what we can do around here. Let's just quickly check how we are doing in terms of our intersection. So obviously we have this, that is a whole set of different problems, but this is the most busy part of the town. And one of the best things that we can do probably is to just see. So to be able to fix this, I'm going to quickly see the routes that our vehicles are taking on this specific road and where they are coming from, where they're going. And as you can see, our trucks, they are exporting the products, so they would be going to both of these roads. Along with that, we also want to see how this street is doing, and obviously we have the same thing here. We actually, at this point, we can just look at trucks just to see what that looks like. So we have the same thing here as well. We have trucks going in both of these directions. So at this point, we have to just think about a way for our trucks to get out of this area and onto both of these roads. So it's a very temporary solution that I can think of, which is basically to have a direct connection for our trucks from here into both the directions of this highway. So one of the ways to do that is to maybe make some kind of junction over here. So I'll make that and I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, so I ended up making something like this where you'd have connections from this part of the map as well as this one to this highway directly into both of these directions. This is purely an entry ramp into the highway. There is no exit ramp from the highway, so we'll still need to figure that out. But I think we can probably use this corner as that junction and kind of grow that into a more powerful junction going forward. So yeah, for now, I think we are just using these two. So I can just show you which directions these go. So basically, there is a ramp that is coming in from this direction. It's going into this highway. And same thing from here as well. So this will be this exit point, and both of these are coming in from this road, which is actually coming in from both of these areas. So we have this connection that goes all the way from this zone into this area or this road, and then we have this road that is coming in from this roundabout. So this can be potentially used by trucks exiting the city from this area. Now, all of these are highway connections, so I'm presuming that trucks will prefer that over this road, considering that will definitely be faster for them. But I'm just going to see if this gives rises to any new problem, because one of the things that I'm already foreseeing would be some congestion in this part of the map, and that will be problematic considering we are using that to let the trucks out. So I don't know if that will be a problem, but we'll see how that traffic eventually changes into. Along with that, I have modified this connector a little bit differently. Initially, it was a curve like that, but now it is a little bit like that just because it is having a more even angle for people to get into. Before, because of the curve like that, it used to be a right turn for going into that direction, and that's why trucks were slowing down. Now it's, as you can see, not a right turn anymore. It's just a straight road. So I don't think the trucks will be stopping here anymore. So let's see what that eventually turns out into. But yeah, with that, let's actually move on to other problems in life. All right, some of the trucks are actually using this, which is nice. Now, the only question is, will this have any more problems in this part? We'll be figuring out later on. But I'm just happy that trucks are using this. Trucks are even using this connection, so that's good as well. Hopefully, that reduces the pressure on this specific line, and that solves the problem of this situation. All right, one of the other things that I just added is this connector. That's a highway ramp again, and that should help some of these trucks and vehicles get out of the city quicker. It just gives them a quicker connection, and yeah, hopefully that fixes this problem. The trucks that are going here are still using that, so that's good as well. And overall, I think that is looking pretty good. So let's just see how we are doing in terms of the traffic flow. We have 86%, so that's good. We have reduced this for sure. There is still that which we'll figure out later on, but for now, yeah, we are increasing some pressure over here, so that is something we'll need to figure out. But at least there is no backup or no significant backup happening in this part, so we'll leave it as is for now. All right, guys, so the next step for us is to definitely look at this intersection that is very congested. So just let's quickly see what the junctions look like in terms of traffic. So yeah, for this one, so for example, we have this road, and yeah, most of the things that are coming in into the roundabout are trucks, and then the private vehicles are actually using the on and off ramps. What about the junction itself? I think most of the things that are coming in are actually trucks. I was right. So yeah, like I mentioned, we probably need to think of a way to get all of these trucks to get into both this as well as this areas. So okay, that I think that by itself would probably help fix a lot of issues. So what we can do in that case is probably, I'm thinking we can probably use this junction for that as well. And yeah, let's probably try to think of a way to get these trucks inside this area. So let me try to do this, and let me see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, so let me just show you what I've done. Basically, from this direction, there is an off ramp that the trucks can get into, which will then split into these two single lane ramps, and that will let the trucks get into that and this. And then this one is having a huge tunnel that will essentially lead them up to this entry connection, which will give them access to this part of the industrial area. And we also have connections from this direction. So here we have this highway coming in into this off ramp that will let them get into this tunnel that will then again split into these two parts, and that will eventually connect them into the off ramps for these two areas. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We just need to update some of these into more specific ramps, and that should be good enough. I think, yeah, that can help them merge into the traffic. And we have this connections as well, where that can be made into single lane entry connections. So yeah, this is just some lane math I'm applying over here. I'm just giving them some space so that they can merge in easily, and then they can merge into each other really well by using this space into eventually a single lane of ramp. That will help decrease the pressure of the traffic in these areas. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's time to test that and see if that eventually helps reduce the pressure on this part of the city. And for this, I'm just going to remove these connections temporarily just to see if that helps with anything, because now we don't really have that truck traffic coming into this roundabout. So hopefully that will help reduce the pressure of this area. But yeah, let's just see what that will eventually look like. Alright guys, so that seems to have helped with some of the traffic flow over here. This is turning out to be quite nice. People are using these ramps in a really good way. There are trucks. I think this intersection will need to be reviewed, but I think for now, the trucks are using these to get out of the city, which is really good. Trucks are using this ramp to get into the city. So I think we are actually doing pretty good. We do have this connection, which is a little bit weird. Most of the trucks are using this to go left, and that's quite understandable because there is most of the things happening in this part. And why is this an issue? Not enough workers. I think, yeah, we'll probably need to start making more homes now. We are having more of these issues now, not just with the commercial, but also with the industrial. So I think now that this traffic problem is sorted, we can actually start thinking about our expansion further. I kind of wanted to use this episode to do that, but I think most of the time that we had was taken up by this intersection. But I'm still glad that we actually got to do this, and we've probably figured out a good way around this. I think one of the things I probably need to add is a direct connection here that would lead us to this part as well, and that would probably help the trucks to get into that part with a relative ease. So the next episode will obviously want us to expand further into this style and make more residential. And once we have more residential, we can actually start thinking about for a specialized industry in this area. But yeah, I think that's about it with this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, and if you really loved it, please subscribe. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, and until then, a goodbye.